Welcome to South George is able to welcome Made in Thailand to a Mexican standoff at the very end, and they are victorious in the final circle in the field. Well played there by Welcome to South George as they're able to take the chicken dinner here in game number 6 and solidify themselves a good chunk of points moving forward. And something that I want to talk to you guys about to start things off is WTSG approached that game with quite the wild little strategy in that 3-1 split to eventually try and find themselves a win.
And I said that to you. It was a terrible split, honestly, because they had a 3-1 split going in the third circle. Then when the fourth circle hit, I actually expected them to kind of collide and come together in the best compound, which was Larsen's compound. But they didn't. They kept split. They ended up coming in very messy into the third circle, the sixth circle, and surviving that, both Vard and Larsen, and then having a standoff in the house, and then eventually pushing in. Perfectly played by Larsen, waiting until the very end, and he saw 3 guys alive. One of them was knocked. He threw a nade.
Didn't work out.
Didn't work out. And then there's a Mexican standoff, as you said, because this is third person, so we're waiting for the for the zone to make them a move, right?
Yeah,
so, but very, very good play from him.
In fairness, though, they did attempt to try and make some sort of a unified team, try and gather to Larsen's position. But as soon as they moved out, because it's such an open area there, they soon got caught off guard, and one of them actually died in the fight. I think it was Miracle that died. And then, of course, it was just Vard that was able to make it to Larsen's position. But yeah, that 3+1 split was a bit kind of strange.
Yeah.
Funny that it moved out, but it only moved out because Larsen is an amazing clutch player.
Yeah. I mean, in that 1-3 thread, I think it's viable. Well, I know it's viable in the third circle because you don't get crashed until the fourth. It's not viable in the meta to crash a compound until the fourth circle, because from the fourth, that is when you can go on foot and fight.
Yeah.
From the third, that's where you still need your cars because it's still 1,300 meters wide.
Right.
So from the fourth, you can go on foot. That's why I expected them to go together on the better compound, but they didn't. But turned out very well. Larsen said, we just need one good win. This was not a good win, it was a messy win, but it was a win indeed, and that's what they needed.
Well, overall, the second and third places between them got 25 kills between OMG and Myth. Very, very heavy points coming in from those two teams, of course. Want to talk about almost what I like to consider Smokes the video game. Because in the end, not only did we have some crazy moves from teams like Knights, teams like OMG on very edges and things like that, but he beats her. Now, explain to us fully why he's making this kind of play, what it means for the tournament, why he's able to eventually make what was one of the most exciting plays, if not one of the most simple plays, in the eyes of some people overall.
I mean, with this smoke here, the reason he could do it was because it's third person. You can jump. When you're inside the smoke, you can jump and you can kind of get the visibility of how far you are. But obviously, there's an MVP. You get $10,000 if you're able to have the longest survival time as an individual player. Obviously, it's to the team, but it's to an individual player. So he's trying to survive as long as possible. You get points compared to how many seconds you survive. So obviously, it's a huge thing. But I don't know, did he have 30 smokes or what?
It looked like it did seem like he was a very heavy smoker at that moment of time. And you know what? The point is to be made for the MVP is that he is in the first place right now for the survival. What he was in the previous round. We have to wait and see if he's still going to be there. I think Grammatic was second, very close to him as well. But I think he might have, solidified his position here. Yeah, smoke stepping. What do we call in this strat, gents? Because this is one thing that we have not seen before. It was amazing to watch him just throw smoke after smoke, being so close to Ghost Gaming as well. They had an idea, they had an inkling that there was someone close. They were shooting blindly for a while there, but they couldn't find the frags. They were like, okay, whoever's in here must be a troll. It's probably Boogie got on one of the computers and is trying to prove that he's some sort of a pro. But yeah, that was an insanely beautiful play, and God, we all love Ibiza for it right now.
Absolutely, and the funny thing is it actually had knock-on effects against Ghosts, because they were so preoccupied with who's in there, who's doing this, what's going on, am I in the belly of a dragon? But no, apparently, they were being shot at whilst trying to figure out who was in there, so knock-on effects for Ghosts, kind of unfortunate for them. I want to touch on some other things, of course. Black, once again, 18th position for them. Not the best start at all for day number 2. In fact, this pretty much knocks them out of the top 3, Boogie.
And here's the thing about Black in this situation here. You would have thought, we call it a Na'Vi circle for a reason, because Na'Vi have the easier transition into what seems to be a simple circle for them. But I would like to, we're going to talk about them in a while. Black had the same kind of opportunity. They were committed from South George. They were splitting, 2 in hospital, 2 in docks. They would have had a very easy transition to what was supposed to be the very center of the circle there. But somehow, they just didn't find themselves on a good transitionary path. And I'm not too sure how that happened. We missed it completely because we were like, okay, so this is Black, this is going to be WTSG, this is going to be Na'Vi, but somehow Black didn't make it too far.
Well, that was very important as well. Some of the rotations that were coming in, obviously we saw Liquid going out pretty wide.
Ooh,
likewise, Gold was another team Avenger that was going out pretty wide to eventually get in the circle.
We talked about the rotation here where we saw the game. Liquid came in, they were closer inside the circle, closer to it, but Gold, they went outside the blue to try to come in on the western side, because you know, when you have a shift, the majority in the first circle, the majority is in the middle. If it shifts west, then the majority is going to be on the eastern side of the circle and close to the middle. The west should be more open. So Gold knows this. They did a very good rotation, kind of like a Liquid rotation, but it did it on a far wider angle and came in very good on that position.
And they actually met at some point. Liquid were rotating towards the same kind of edge, and they met. James was on his bike. He met with the lineup of Gold, and then they kind of separated. Liquid went in a bit shorter, and then yes, as you said, Gold went on a very further wide, deep entrance. Liquid, I didn't necessarily like where they stopped at the compound there south when the fourth, I think it was the fourth circle popped, but you know, it was the only one that they could have safely gone into while making sure that they're not getting, you know, shot, because going through swamps or driving through swamps is an absolute nightmare.
You made a point before, Boogie, actually, and it was about Na'Vi. They eventually tried to take the radio tower, right? But it kind of didn't work out for them. They were in a bit of a tough position regardless.
Yeah, that was their attempt, man. They were trying so hard to push onto that eastern side. They were outside the circle. They had to make a play. But the thing is, they either chose to go a bit too early or a bit too late. The timing on their transition towards the antenna, towards the radio tower there, just seemed to be a bit off. And of course, they were caught off guard. They were caught off by two teams. They got double, you know, they got prawned in. They got sandwiched by two teams. So it was impossible for them to actually stay alive. They did put down the smoke. They tried to get the reses. Pokemon falling first meant that they were lacking utility, as Pokemon usually has a lot of those. So in that regard, Na'Vi, TPP, I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of it.
No, I mean, you said it. You said it, Na'Vi, you said TPP. That hill, easy to breach from that side in FPP. At TPP, not so much.
That's
right. They can just go on the edge, they can step, they'll not show themselves, they'll know everything around on that push, because usually in FPP you can push on that hill, you can stay there, and then you can breach when you want to.
Let's check in with the point.
Not in TPP.
Yeah.
Let's do it then. It's going to be 11th through 20th here, as you can see from round number 6. Refund Gaming managed to pick themselves up a good number of points there, with 105 points of that coming off the kills that they were able to achieve. Likewise, though, Genji, Black, and Team Liquid not having the easiest of runs through at that last game, so that will hurt them there in the standings up towards the top. Let's look up number 1 through 10, and big points made up through Made in Thailand, able to take that top spot thanks to the 14 mammoth kills that came in for them, despite WTSG taking the win.
I mean, it's sorted. Made in Thailand. That was because of the huge amount of kills.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to Sargos, of course, to the chicken dinner. So they got the $10,000 from that, but it's still 30 more points because of the amount of kills they had.
Yeah, I think something that's important to note as well here is a team that we haven't really got much to talk, had much chance to talk about is Windfall from Crest Gaming and the Japanese region, of course. They managed to get themselves in a very good spot. They didn't have that many kills, but they were able to place highly.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Windfall's strong suit, I suppose, crashing into the center and then holding off. They are very, very good at that. And again, talking to the owner of Crest Gaming, he said, I want Xanadu to actually learn from them and do something good. But what do we have here, Kyle Lara?
This is very, very important. This is the kill leaders for the MVP spot at the end of TPP. Close. The winner of this at the end of the entire TPP tournament will bag themselves $10,000. And Minoru, of all people, especially from that last game, just bagged so many kills to push him to the very top. Before, we had Ibiza, I think. No, it was Dramatic. Yep. Dramatic was top for a while, but he has been pushed down after Black have not had the best of results Avenger in these last 2 games.
And the Lion, he had a massive game as well in the 2 previous rounds. We have 2 more games. They can still happen, you know, it's from the 1st to the 5th, only 4 kills. And in a good game, if you're in a good position, if you gatekeep, you can easily get 7, 8 kills. We saw it Dramatic yesterday. He got 8 kills in 1 game, so this is not over. I think we're going to be coming down to the last game to see who's going to win there.
And speaking of which, here are our current overall rankings for
close.
TPP at the moment, with Gold 2,020 points, but not far behind them. Liquid 1,940, Knights 1,885. But you can see OMG being able to push themselves up there quite nice, and Made in Thailand with a big result, a big run there, has managed to trump the position here of Genji Black, who looked so secure yesterday after all those seconds, and at the start of today, not doing so well.
Oh, and look at the difference from 9th to 8th as well, 400-something points.
Yeah,
that's huge. They're not going to catch up. Now they're playing for the placements on the lower rankings. The top 8, very much a good game. It can easily bring you 700 points. So
anybody there.
And it's a lot of money. Remember, from 400,000, 160, 100,000, it's a lot of money in the top. So you really want to fight for just one more placement.
Definitely a lot of pressure on these teams right now. Such a close game for a lot of them. The points around the 1800. It's anybody's game, man.
Well, it's very important to note as well, as you've mentioned, Avenger, with every 4 places, you then double money. So 20 through 16, 2,500. Moving up to 15 through 12, you're getting yourself 5,000 as well. And then 10,000 up to 20,000. So yeah, as you mentioned, big money can still be scored depending on where you actually place there. Gen G Black, as we mentioned, having a hard time at the start of this. It's not to say that they can't come back though, because they proved yesterday those constant second places can still pay dividends later on if they're able to just kind of tighten those bolts and screws wherever they can find them.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And such a late stage of the game here with no possibility to review the VODs. You're in the middle of the fighting. You're going to have to find yourself and find your pacing and find your strategy. Stay together, stay as one team is the only thing that I can tell to Gen G Black, and fight along the way, because they're good, man. They're good at rotations, but not so much today. They need to remember who they are.
And 4 AM there, just previously, we saw them do so well in their regional when it came to TPP, but here it's been a bit of a rough struggle.
I think they're struggling with everybody else is able to hit their shots. So I think with that, they expect, you know, less fight in the beginning, but there's so many teams going for kills in the beginning, and that's what I think with Black. Just gonna go back to that real quick. I think Black, they're fighting to get more kills. They're kind of prioritizing getting kills on the edge, staying outside the zone instead of going in the center, especially when the zone is close to them. This was a western zone close to them. They should be much more in the center.
True, and they failed to do that. And so, well, Na'Vi didn't fail. They did go to the normal compound that they go to there, when you have a Na'Vi circle, so to speak, a western circle there. But from there on out, it just seemed to be a bit of a fail. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, it was rough.
Coming in from the west, bit difficult for them. Yeah, I mean, we called it at the very beginning of the game. Once we see that first circle, once they're going from Primos, they go all the way up that west coast, and they take the compound just above that split off of the road, which they're happy to take, but it didn't work out for them. Made in Thailand, though, looking very strong in that last game, and they are in contendership for taking a top 3 spot if they continue on this road.
100%. I mean, and also taking an MVP, it's a huge thing. It might not be a lot of money for that, but it's the prestige in being the top fragger in a TPP tournament. It's a huge thing. Minoru looking very good. Huge games for them. I like the kind of the stop and sweep kind of tactic where they stop and scout first, and then they just go for the sweep once they hear the shots and the third party is available for them.
That's a very Western way to play the game as well. Normally we see in Europe and NA, we see that kind of sort of scouting before moving in. I remember Dignitas, or actually Lumbermill, were doing a very proficient thing at that, because they had a very difficult transition wherever they went. But yeah, there you go. I'm happy to see Myth doing the same.
All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. We only have 2 games remaining here for the TPP mode. We've swapped out the casters. We're going to give Toby a mouthful of food overall as well as we continue on. We've swapped them out, and we're going to head over to game number 7 here for PGI 2018.
Thank you so much, guys, and I think the only food we're after is some good chicken dinners. And, well, we've got 2 more to go, Richard.
There's everything to play for. These last 2 are now so important. There are a few teams around that top 5-6 position that can still sneak it in. Even the teams that aren't in the top area, there's still a lot of money to be won. You know, there's still a lot on the line. They need to keep going. Just because you might not necessarily be able to win through the next 2 games doesn't mean you still can't at least jump up the rankings and earn a bit more cash.
You're absolutely right. Everything can change in the next couple of rounds, and it depends on who turns up. We've seen a good couple of teams now having, you know, shaky starts and then delivering in the final 2 games, and vice versa. I don't know what we're going to be expecting to see coming to this. I don't know who's going to be those teams. So far, we've seen some crazy plays coming out from these teams. Thoroughly impressed by so many of these regions coming out. I think, if anything, now everyone's been put on notice. You know, we thought third-person perspective would be kind of locked down, it'd be swept aside by mostly the Eastern teams, that everyone was going to kind of pick those up, but it's not been the case. We've seen Liquid pushing into that, but then you've got to look at Gold. They have been phenomenal during this.
I think both Black and Gold, they've played their hearts out so far. They're absolutely fantastic. 4 AM have kind of, I don't want to say fallen off a little bit, but certainly not as strong and solidified as yesterday. They've had a few rough rounds. Still, anything can happen with these last 2 games. It's nice coming into what we would call a grand finals as such, with only 2 left. that it's still anybody's game. There are times where we've seen in PUBG where one team's just completely gone off the rails and smashed everyone by a country mile. For a grand final stage, that certainly is absolutely not the case. This is open for maybe 7, potentially 10 teams if a couple of them at the top fall off a little bit, but anything's possible.
Absolutely. We've seen so many times where maybe a team who's got that lead looking like they're in a good position going forward, where they're going to probably have the win in the bag, or at least a good placement, something happens early. The disaster strikes. It all goes a little wrong. So there's plenty of opportunity for that. Who are we specifically looking at here? Because we have, I guess, our kind of front runners, right? You've got Genji Gold, you've got Liquid, you've got Knights, OMG. They're sitting in good spots. Who are the dark horses for you? Who are the teams that could maybe throw a spanner in the works that we could maybe keep our eyes on?
I don't necessarily think it's a dark horse, but as you mentioned, cause problems for other teams. I think Na'Vi, if you're going into FPP, and Na'Vi being Na'Vi, it's a big team. Everyone knows it. There's some incredibly insane players on that roster. You want to come into this round 7 and round 8 and just start absolutely raising hell, killing people, putting bodies all over the floor, and jumping up that table as far as you can go.
Well, it's time to find out who is indeed going to be doing that as we are live into the game. The plane is en route. It's from the southeast right across towards the north. Saverni's into play. Pretty much everything's available. A little long on the kind of east and west, but not by much. All still very easy to get to. I'm just seeing if anyone makes any different plays, if there's anything unique, anything different that stands out to us, because it seems like these teams have kind of settled in now to a degree. There was a little tussle towards the military island, though, very early on we saw in just last game.
Yeah, I think this is going to continue through this one as we see Honey Badger Nation and I believe it's 4 AM both down on Millie. This has happened a few times now. 4 AM kind of stamped their authority on this one. Honey Badger Nation, obviously we've seen them over in North America going towards Novo, but now you've got the bad boys from Korea. You've got the #1 team, Genji Gold, in there. Do you really, when you're looking at Genji Gold, it kind of scares you as a team. You know, I did see Fast Rail saying, Novo's ours, boys, not a problem. Have they been there once this entire tournament? I don't think so.
No, I think everyone's learning who to respect, who's got a lot of fire to them, and we've got a very central circle. This is nice.
I like it.
Slap bang in the middle of the map, everything's still up for grabs. Okay, teams again, like your Na'Vis and such, who do tend to play on the extremities, might have some issues getting there and back. But actually, this is a little different from Na'Vi. I don't know if they dropped looking for cars and they just haven't found them yet, but actually, GodV's in trouble here, Rich.
Oh. He certainly is, and just as you say that, Lauren,
I'm
looking at the kill feed as well. I'm already seeing a player go down. In fact, I've seen 2 players fall. I think Myth have just actually denied somebody.
GodV, AK on his back, you can see it, there you go. Already Na'Vi going to strike first real blood in that sort of aspect, at least hunting one of these players down. And there's a lot been going on the military island as well.
Yeah, it was very, very busy. We've seen 2 players fall back to back. I saw one of the Myth players go down early. Now, GodV, massive name coming from, I believe it's League of Legends in the past. Huge, huge authority on his back. A big player as well for 4 AM to lose him so earlier on. Ironically, to lose him to a team that doesn't actually loot here. Na'Vi usually transition over to Prim. They've opted to stay for the Yellows. My worry is, Lauren, across the bridge, we do have another team that's lingering and waiting in the mist.
There's so many threats now across the board. Na'Vi look like they have that in mind. I think if you've watched the previous games from the previous days, they'll be aware of where these teams like to loot, where they like to go. You can kind of get that mental, I guess, mapping going through here. And Ghost, one of the teams who won the first very round, they made the earliest statement and they came out swinging. Haven't really seen, not the same degree of power from them, but not that sort of play we saw in that very first round. That was a very scary prospect going forward if that had continued. You can see the overall standings here definitely fallen off from where they started. Down in 8th, not too bad, but you're looking at that top 3 right now. Look how close they are.
Just to touch a little bit more on Ghost and kind of explain where they're coming from. They took 2nd in the PGI qualifiers to get here from Burbank. They took 2nd place, just falling behind TG. They took 3rd at the GLL Season 1 finals. They were 7th at the Pan-Continental in Vegas. They had back-to-back wins at the ESU, and they also won the First Blood Invitational. These guys are both LAN-proven, online tournament-proven.
Well, Larsson's proven to be in trouble here, already down, knocked, but is being revived. That was sexy pick from the other side of things. You can see that fire from afar. Only sitting with 2 times on the top of that scar. Not ideal, and very limited ammo down to 23. Every single bullet is costing him a bit here, and he's got to be very cautious. He finds Gaxi, though. This is really putting them in a bad position. Look at Yunru as well. Good split on the support. They like that 2-2. 2 towards the crates, 2 on that southern side of South George. This puts WTSG, the European side, in a real predicament now.
It's a boxing, right? You put 2 behind, you put 2 in front, you clamp them. from going anywhere else. There's not many places they can go, and you can flood them, potentially even set up a bottleneck. If you want to set up a trap, it's viable by doing so. This aggression, just these pure warning shots now, it's going to do so much for A, your mental capability looking forward to the game. You know, it's kind of like, oh God, boys, already had someone knock, we have all sorts of problems here. But 2, the looting. You know, it's going to mess up your looting battles. You're going to be slow, gear, meds, utility, everything. And most importantly, you've already had one knock. So the second time he gets knocked, he's going to bleed out a lot faster. Yeah,
it starts adding up to a bit of a death sentence, really, by the end of it. You start to really feel that pressure that you know your teammates simply cannot save you. And you'll see teammates more often than not at this sort of caliber of game, especially really considering, is it worth getting that revival or not? It's very much a thing. Now we are seeing Ghost picking up another player. This is 4AM struggling here. I'm a bit worried as to what's going on here. McCoy looks like he's out on his own as well. Ghost might be sending the cavalry, but he needs to stay alive for now. He's got players surrounding him, and these guys might have a little bit of, you know, an undying rage coming in, especially as he confirms that kill. Now, if I'm 4AM, I'm annoyed. I want to get into this, but Profi's on the way, but this might not be over, Rich. He's holding the angle correctly, but uh-oh, that nade could be big. He's got to push out here, and Luke is way on the other side. McCoy, though, doing it all alone. This is incredible. He finally gets found, but now look, the support is here. Profi, is he ready? He is! Excellence from Profi coming in at the right time, saving the day.
Nice work from Profi, once again, stepping up when it matters most. They got McCoy down on the floor, then get him up, and Ghost, they're happy days for them. In fact, that's 4AM done and dusted. That's a terrible start to this game. How, you know, we're not even a few minutes in. 5 minutes, if that's 6. Already losing 1, that's rough for them. Looking forward to game number 8. It's going to cause you all kinds of problems that throw you down that leaderboard.
This is one of the top, you know, higher tier teams. This is one of the teams that cannot lose out early in these games.
Bailing.
They are bailing the hell out of Dodge. They do not want any of this. That's a Tygon. Oh no, this could be huge. If he gets picked up here, if he doesn't recover, he's spiraling out of control. You can see EXO going to be chasing that down. It does seem as though he's going to make it away for at least a second more. The tags are good. The shots are not bad. Oh, the turn! Spit, you animal!
What?
Oh, you just got absolutely destroyed. Spit just absolutely dominating them, showing them why they're within that top 6, top 5. Looking good here. And well, for now, Mortified does finally get the kill, but what a loss to begin with. That was a statement and a half.
Exco, you just got battered on main stage, brother. You can't let that happen. Someone diving out of the car with 40% HP and just drills you at distance. A little bit unfortunate, because not only did they lose a player, but they lose the fight, so they're going to have to back off from that one. Rather unfortunate for them. Navi, you can see on screen, ranking 15th. That's, in game number 7, not something I'd be seeing for Navi. You know, especially when we look towards what they've been doing throughout the FPP side of things. All right, as event winners of GLL, you know, they've got LAN capabilities underneath them. They've already got an event win beneath them. Drainage, I believe, has 3 underneath him when you include GLL, IEM, and another one. Definitely got 3. I think in Europe he's holding the most titles currently at present, but to see them in 15th, we haven't seen the best of them at all. Things just haven't gone wrong. Excuse me, gone right.
Well, the thing is, if you look at Na'Vi as well right now, if that roster check... Ooh, AHQ, what's happened? Cards are having a couple of issues here and there. That's a bit of a problem.
He's killed himself.
Yeah, a couple of people seeming to make some questionable mistakes. Maybe those nerves are starting to kick in for some of these players. You know you're right at that cusp of doing a hell of a lot. A lot of teams now on the rotations. When we talk about rotations, you'll be seeing the teams who like to move early going very central. And what does that gift you? Better percentage on that circle shift. It gives you good compounds to wait in. And just, you know, if the circle moves very far left, very far right, you still have a chance to be in it rather than gambling completely. It's a nice idea. It's a good theory, and that's why the vast majority of teams, as you're seeing, will be on the eastern side of Pachinki, the kind of fields towards the east, I guess a little southern from Rozhok, and towards the west of Shelter. They'll all be clustered around that little bit of a hill now. Actually, we'll be seeing how WTSG have recovered. We saw them in that little early battle, and it does seem as though they're all back up, decently geared, and the fans wait to see what is going to be happening now as all the teams begin to make their way towards center circle.
Yeah, the problem is coming out of Georgia, Paul. I mean, we've got 6 teams already still lingering up there. The circle's pushing in. This blue will clamp them together. Thankfully, when they do arrive to the circle, it's very, very empty on the western side. Through Gatka, Pachinki, there's a team lurking around Rozhok, all the way down the bottom to the Rocks Yellows. The Barns, you've got a team. But generally speaking, for a good fair 1,000 meters, you've got completely open territory. So you shouldn't see anybody dying in this rotation. I'd be surprised if we did. They'd have to be rather unlucky, to be honest, if been completely eliminated in this next one. But still, it's going to be slow. It's going to be a little bit quiet, very slower pace. Now, remember, this is game number 7. no mistakes can be made. If you start making mistakes, is where you're going to fall out of the ranking. For someone like Team Liquid, for example, they're in second place, but they're only in second place by 80 points. Gold could make a mistake and they could jump that into first. Same goes for Liquid. They could completely drop the ball here, potentially go out in 19th. You have to be very, very careful. Jeems will take a tag back. He gets a little bit overzealous and goes for the hard peek. Samty in the back with a sniper rifle. That's going to be a K9. You tend to see that from that man. What else have we got? I mean, Liquid, they don't have to move. They've got a decent compound. They can chill. Where Refund is, not a big fan. All right. You can get on the extremities of the wall, use it for cover, get the hard peaks and such, but the problem is getting away from it because it's in such a ditch. When you try and evacuate that building, your vehicles can just get annihilated on the ridge.
Now, speaking of vehicles, if you are new to playing PUBG still and maybe you don't understand it, a couple of the small things, if you look at the previous team of Refund there, look at the angles that they park those cars up at and look at how they position them around that compound. Essentially, they do it so other teams can't shoot out the tires or take down the car, so they always have that option of mobility that they can go to. They can always fall back on that as like your escape plan. Now, of course, as you said, traversing away from that compound, not easy, very open ground, very easy to get pressured from, but at least gives you a chance. And a lot of teams, when they hunker down in compounds, will try and position vehicles as such.
Just saw this. Avanga are staying behind. Avanga are trying to tag people up on the way out of Georgia Pol. Keen's on the top. He's also got a teammate
Shots
with
coming
him.
In.
Yeah,
this is big. Pure Boy's in real trouble. He's got fire coming in from the other side as well. Keen's on the move. He's going to try and push up.
They've set a trap.
They really have here. Pure Boy is not escaping this. I don't know if he can really get away. Now, looking at who it is, okay, it's a long angle they're firing from. It is a 6 times up on that 416, so he does have the option to get a nice bit of range, but oh, he's going for a little bit of a walk across the bridge here. This could still hurt, and yeah, Pure Boy drowns in the end. He does get tagged, I can imagine, and pushed under the water as the blue did move across.
So my only question to this is, and I'm forever questioning players, but is it really worth separating 2 players from the rest of your team? They're already fighting in the blue for the sake of 15 to 30 points. You're playing for survival here. Why bother losing a couple of players for the sake of a few points? This might not be the best of players from Avanga. If I were them, I'd get on the vehicles and probably go, to be honest with you, meet up with the rest of the players.
Oh, another one goes for it. Yeah, someone trying to run the bridge. You can see the shots coming through. One more shot will do the job, but can he line it up? Keen, he's trying his very best. You can see the tracer fire coming out, but somehow he makes it away with his life by just the slimmest of margins.
Where's his vehicle? Is there any...
He's just been knocked by the play zone. He will be able to get revived if his teammate stays up. We're looking over Ares. Ares is good. Okay, revive comes in. But this is how close that was. The other team managed to tag them so low that the HP was down. Oh, we've got a bit of an awkward crossing here. Liquid.
Chase them down,
it's
boys.
Wacky races. You've got to be very careful at this point.
Where are these boys going to be going through? They're taking down the more western edge of the circle. Passing shelter. Probably sometime we've seen them kind of set up around the shelter area, just on the back of it, so you can dip down low if you need to put the vehicles on the back. Give yourself a little bit of a bunker in, so to speak. But I think they're going further than that. Maybe they have to be very careful because Savage have already moved in from Milta. They're in that area, so provided they don't go overzealous and too central, they'll be all right.
But greedy play from Savage. You can see the split from them. They've got 4 players just about everywhere. They're not far from Knights. They're further towards the eastern side of things. They've split across. Now, it looks like Liquid are going to just pick Shelter. We do have the Na'Vi battle potentially coming out with Chiefs as well. Liquid have themselves situated by Shelter. This is the Na'Vi fight. Chiefs are in trouble. The tag comes through, and Champs not be feeling like it anymore. He goes down to I-Lane, and that's going to be a surely confirmed kill. It is. No chance of a revive. And sadly for the Chiefs, they just have to watch as their fallen teammate is confirmed at this point. Circle positioning, looking up towards the end of this game is far more integral now.
I-Lane, the substitute, playing here for Na'Vi, picks up 15 points. They're okay for now. They're in a decent position. They are on the edge. A little bit unfortunate for them is that WTDSG will be behind them. Eba picks up a second one for the Chiefs. P for potato. That's D for dead, my friend. Knocks him in the head. He's out the vehicle. I'm looking for that confirmed kill because that's not out yet.
Here we go.
And there it is.
Nice work from Na'Vi. This is good. Maybe this is one of the teams that do respond to getting a little bit better under their belt early on. A couple of players will do that, but they're not a team you expect it from. And Chiefs, there's no escape for them. They're going through everyone. This is so tricky. When you come in late to a circle and you go central, Richard, we all know there's going to be teams here. Edge is so lucky to have his life. I'm pretty sure he just spun out. You saw that go around, and yep, tries to get out of the car, doesn't go well. That's another confirmed kill. This is a bit of a disaster, to say the least, for the Chiefs.
3 players in 30 seconds isn't great, especially when you had all 4 alive. They're now down to 1 who's going to have to play the Lone Ranger, and he's smack bang in the center, don't get me wrong, but all he's got is a shack and a dead vehicle. He's just got to play for position now. There's nothing else he can do. Meanwhile, we do see the fight being taken towards Na'Vi. They've got one knockdown already. Turtle with the spray, trying to hit him through the smoke. They'll probably be able to get him out here. But again, we look at Na'Vi's position. They have shots from 3 different angles. We have Oyun, we have Ghost, and we also have another team. I believe it's AHQ on the bottom side. They all have eyes on them.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams keeping tabs on this. And this is when you're loving having those Kar 98s, those 6 times, the 8 times, the 4. He's going for the bike. He wants to remove any ability of them to remove themselves from the situation. You'll see that bike kind of jump when they get the tire done, and I'm pretty sure that is it. So now Na'Vi are going to be in a real predicament where it's not easy to make a choice now. A couple of nades coming through. You're going to be seeing a couple of these kind of tentative kills, a couple of them maybe in a curious position as well. A lot of long-range shots are coming out here, even though a lot of these teams are posturing for position. They're all kind of trying to flare off against each other and show that, hey, we own this area. Some teams might have to go for breaches, even if you don't want to. You need some sort of area to go.
OMG rocking the minis. We'll have eyes on the prize when they look towards Na'Vi and Loco Pill. You'd expect the circle to move away from the water and go towards the north. We'll see in a few seconds. It's going to be in 3 to be precise.
I mean, just watch Liquid. Generally, they're pretty good at putting themselves in good circle positions. This time, not the case.
Oh, interesting.
This makes it fun. Okay, so all the Eastern teams need to make a move, but there's actually a lot of room on the West. A lot of the teams kind of centralize themselves around that dirt road that leads just across the northern southern road, so it's kind of parallel to that. So a lot of the teams are adjusting now. You can see the little shifts coming in on the map. A couple of teams trying to edge away, but it's Knights who'll be running the gauntlet first, all on the vehicles, all making a move. And Genji Black doing the same thing as well. Grammar's in trouble. He is spinning out of control. This could be confirmed here. Jeeps has gone down, and that is a confirmed kill coming through. Who was that? That's Ghost Gaming doing it.
So staying put's kind of paid dividends. They've picked up one of Liquid's biggest fraggers there. Grabbed 15 points as well. We lose Kramer also in the rotation. I was speaking about OMG's position. I mean, the circle kind of went their way. They've got the entirety of that edge. No one can go behind them anymore.
Now, I want to know if Liquid go out into the blue to take the safety route. Now, this is something we've seen them do, but it's a very long run, and this circle hurts. So I'm pretty sure it's something they'll consider if they hear these shots, especially now, made in Thailand, are in a real tricky position. You've got a lot of teams very close by, and it's going to be Genji Black as well. These guys have started to warm up. They've started to look way more like the team we'd expect, but Grammatic is in a bit of a pinch here. He's got no safety. He's got to try and find a way out. Maybe his teammate's looking for another angle, but that is indeed a good flashbang. Not a nade so far. The one coming back in could have done something. But where's his teammate right now?
I'm surprised he bailed from this one. I mean, the grenade's going to come through. Minoru has a second one. It'll roll right next to him. How much damage?
He's got it. Grammatic got one. This is huge. Now he can make the play off the back of this. He can push this. Oh, that could have been so smart. He doesn't get the kill in the end. But look at the HP. Grammatic.
I'm mind blown that Esther's run away from him. I thought they'd help him out.
I don't know what the position was.
Oh,
there it is. There's Yunru. There's the man you want coming around the back as well. Nade's going to be coming raining in. Confirmed kills comes out.
Bye-bye.
The nades start rolling in, and this is not going to be pretty for Made in Thailand. Somehow this guy is still alive. Grammatic is getting anxious. He just wants in on this. You can see him. He's got a bit of a bloodlust on here. He wants to just flay him alive, but is he being cautious because the blue's moving in? Keep in mind, you've got to think bigger picture sometimes, and they're playing the safety game. They're backing away. How on earth is this guy still alive?
I respect it. Mumino, we jump on his POV. He's taking a fight of his own. Keen's in front of him. His teammate's also down, so they've lost 2. CeeLo, the last man standing here for TG. TG having an absolute nightmare of a competition so far. Certainly not playing up to what we saw in the North American qualifiers, where they did come first. 18 teams alive, 60 individual players remaining. You got Mossy on the right-hand side bleeding out. Mumino will be given time to get up. Keen, what can he do? He's got no helmet. Any kind of weapon just going to spray through and melt him. At least opt to go for the safety of the building. Mortify has some smoke, but for how long? I think Moss is dead and gone. Avanga, though, they've regrouped. I like it. They were split up at the start. They've all got back together. They're all pretty much above 75% HP. They're all tanked up with stims. Mossy, he's confirmed 15 points to Avanga. Mamina fancies a little bit more. He probably should know that Mortify's in there, but they do know that one ran away while they were getting the res.
But they don't know this. They have no idea that one ran away, one didn't. That smoke was kind of obscuring their view, so it makes it very tricky for them to work it out. Maybe Keen's going for a bit of a check here. Oh my god, he has no idea. And Mortify's going to hear every single step of that heart beating out of his chest. And he stayed alive.
CeeLo's completely bailed from this one to keep them as the emergency backup, so to speak. They do have that level of being able to, oh, look at that hard shift. It goes completely to the eastern ridge. An Octave finds CeeLo. He confirms him. Now you've got that one guy in the smoke standing.
He's made it in. He could be like a knife in the back here. If he wants to just ruin their chances or at least take away one player, that could be big. But Liquid took the long run. Now they need to do it all over again. They've got the Southern Road this time to get past, which is OMG down there. You've got Knights down there. You've got a lot of teams now enclosing in towards this very small space.
Critical gets tanked up. The last one alive for Chiefs. They did see earlier on he had to do some serious work just standing in that cabin. Savage having a wander. He's getting shot himself. He'll breach on in here. It's Critical. Welcomes the challenge. Easy 15 points for him. I mean, there's nothing he could do. He'd been shot from 2 angles, but that also gives Critical the information that there is a team lurking here, so he has to be very, very careful. Oh my God. Look
Yikes.
at the gun. AWM in the hands of Savage. They could do some really nasty work from that. And that's what the problem with third person is, so to speak, is the fact that there's so many individual kill steals. With that gun, every body shot he gets, he's going to get a knock out of it. But whether or not he can confirm those kills, because you've only got, what is it, 20 bullets you get between 2 bags? Why do you want to waste them trying to sap them up?
Everyone's just going towards Critical here. He's just sat there. Everyone's just walking, and it's, you know, the goldfish bowl effect. They just go round and round and round.
Samty's dead, and so is Texas. Same again. We lose a player of Knights and a player of Liquid on the same rotation.
Yeah, Team, good position here, catching you on the rotation as well. Looks like Genji Black have made their way in. They've run the gauntlet, and they've done okay. I don't know how far they want to go, though. Where do you want to take yourselves here? Took a fair crack of damage on the way, but they're all right. But welcome to South George, perched in position.
Look at him on
now,
the
they're
bridge.
not safe in the circle just yet. You've got Ghost just over, so you need to breaches. They're going to make in the push right about now. This is going to be huge. Profi's up top. You've got one more player down below. That's Turtle. Wrong time to come out of the door. You wanted to stay inside there. Ghosts want to respond in kind. They want to find a frag back as fast as they can. But right now, welcome South George are making it hurt.
Profi manages to knock one. That won't do too much. They missed the grenade. That's rather unfortunate. He's got a second chance, but he's inside this little cheeky angle inside the Harry Potter Tower. Ibby on to Knights this time round. Liquid finding a player on the knock. They've been losing players individually while they rotate. Now they'll find one another, and this is what happens when you go for those long rotations round. You come around the back and unfortunately just find players waiting.
Yeah, I like this play from Larson and Gaxi. Not going to kind of put themselves in a bad spot where you can get grenaded out. Another failure on the nade. Not good.
Come on, boys.
Need to go on, you know.
It's a window.
Sanok and just throw the old apples. Get warmed up. Not great. Not great at all.
Took me a while to get that one, though. Esther, he falls down to a player from Savage. Savage, they've been doing quite well so far this game. Van does find Balok. That's in the opposing side on the little shack. Sexy Pig also. IGL there for Genji. He falls out. They're down and gone. Confirmed there by Mortify. Last player alive. You said he could be a knife in the back for some teams. He's finally doing it. Ibby onto another player from the Knights. They've either got one left or potentially they're all tagged up at least and maybe have 2. I don't think they do. Esther out in the open. Might not be able to get him up.
What? What is that nade?
Has
what?
Just killed himself and his teammate. And
no.
oh my God.
What?
You've had a mare, boys.
What has happened there?
What have they just done?
Huh?
What have they just done? Was that another third missed grenade?
I don't know.
Profi's happy. He's just watching players below him dying.
They don't know what the hell has gone on. Oh, Profi's getting tagged up though. Maybe he's not so happy. From the back lines, that's Na'Vi, I'm pretty sure, kicking into the action. They're finding kills from afar. The SLR does wonders. Now they have got revives out, and it looks like they're going to push on this, but we know Na'Vi have lines of sight. They know that there's something going on here, and these are some very nice shots coming out. Gaxi does confirm Profi, and you've got to be devastated if you're Ghost, and there's the next circle. Nice and central here.
Genji Black is eliminated in 18th place.
Wow.
Esther and Yumroot. That's another unexpected, huge, high-ranking team going out early in this game, number 7.
Yeah, current sitting 6th position team gone.
The more of these higher-up teams that go out early, the ones at the middle kind of ranking, it's better for them.
Speaking of that, Rich, we've got Ibby down to basically a 1-shot, maybe a little more in case it's, you know, something with a 9mm, but Scoom just slides in the car, and we're going to be seeing some very scary gameplay coming out. So if you want to look at this terrain, it's a lot of open fields, but the terrain is good. You've got a nice bit of high ground here and there, a couple of the open areas, and that Molotov. Oh, Rio, get back into cover. You do not want to be peeking that again.
OMG getting aggressive.
I love their
aggression. Nice, isn't it?
aggression.
You do the push and you put the smokes down. The grenades are going to come back, so they need to be careful.
Well, the smart way to do it is you leave 2 players to hold the peaks, so your players can then push up. That's essentially the most basic way to do it, and it works very well. They're doing it staggered. So you've got Silent pushed up, and you've got Lion just behind him.
He's been very clever. They put the smokes down, and while all this has been going off, He's distracted CGX. They don't know he's there. He's run, and his footsteps have been covered by the smoke. They have no idea he's on this angle.
Oh, but they lost out on one of their teammates. So again, if they want to get back into this, they either need to completely disengage or push even harder. It's one of the two. You need to get a knock right now. CGX are down to 3 players, but they've got a nice position. You can see that triangle that they can see here. The prone player in the back is going to be purely for information. He's going to keep tabs on things, keep the action in mind, and then call it out to the 2 players that could action it. But we are seeing a lot of back and forth between these teams, a lot of tracer fire coming in, and it looks like CGX might be winning this one out. They're holding onto this compound for their dear life.
Yeah, they managed to get a pick in the back lines. He's dead and gone. Eska still onto Wick in the kill feed. We saw both Myth and TG go down in the kill feed while that transition was going on. Avanga still sitting happy at the top. Honey Badger Nation, they're getting tanked up here. Chelator, he'll hit the Harry Potter. There's 2 people down in here. This is nice for him. 30 easy points and some prime time location. At least he can sit here for now, get his health back. His teammates can meet him as well. Simpson's gone down, but he doesn't have Loki there. Did they have enough Defilade to get him back up? That's the problem. Look at the bullets just raining down from above. Good God. There's so many teams just stacked here now. You've got some on the outskirts and some uphill. Regardless of where you go, if you're not fighting a battle in front of you, you're fighting one behind. In the fact that the bullets can come straight down, they have full line of sight. They have full vision.
There's 15 teams. That's a lot of players, 40 individually. And you can see the minutest of angles might be making the difference. I'm pretty sure Lion just caught a glimpse in of possibly Silent up top. I'm not sure. Fast Rail and Timid finding any cover they possibly can. Everyone is trying to just compress themselves into this very small area. And well, we'll be seeing a couple of players now starting to struggle. Already a nade or 2 coming through, catching them out, but this is the push I've been keeping my eyes on. This OMG play, I'm loving how they're doing it, but there needs to be an end to this story. There has to be a way this happens. Ghost Gaming is gone, and it looks like the breach is happening right about now. Ares, unsure of what he was doing, gets taken out. Silent on the push. Great work with that Sky in hand. Can he follow it up, though? Where's the rest of the teammates? Where is CGX to support his fallen teammate? You saw the player on the building all the way back. Now he needs to come into this, because Rio is feeling isolated. He's feeling alone, and he is feeling that pressure.
OMG, they're committed to this fight. They did lose 1 player, but they have made it inside the building. He just looks to the other side. Lion KK knocks out Voxic, sees him in the open. Eska fancies the long-range shots with the SLI. He's got the 8 times on there as well as Savage. Time to rotate. Silent finds another one inside that building, so CGX have been punished. The aggression is real. Gaxi goes down. Is that the end of WTSG? That was an insta.
Yeah, quite possibly it might be. That could be confirmed. Team out of here, and that's another big team just gone at this point.
Oh no, it wasn't Blood, so there is still one
Maybe
member
there's one man still
yes.
around. Yeah, they might have to do some snaking here at this point. Genji Gold, though, in a nice spot on the map. If you look at their positioning, they're pretty nice here. We're going to be seeing where that next circle goes. Let's see what the aim's like, though. That's an AWM you're messing with, and you got to be careful. Eska, you got to bang these shots out. On the run, though, trying to make a mad dash for it on the other side. Savage in trouble. Ragnar having to be as savage as you'd expect. He's going to try and make himself some sort of cover towards the tree, and it looks like he's safe for now.
No rest for the Wicked as we move across. OMG, they're still in control with this fight. One goes down up top on CGX, and I think it's between Lion and Cheyenne Blue. Who'll be the winner here? It's Cheyenne. He eliminates OMG. He did get pressured, he did get pushed, but all 4 will fall consecutively. 12 teams, 30 members alive. All 4 up here for OHM. Couple of people from Savage inside Critical still hiding for his dear life. Na'Vi, though, it's time for them to make a move, and they're moving into OHM's territory.
Breaching these compounds, and you feel it's almost for nothing because you're playing the timing game. Neither of these positions are particularly safe. That circle will push you forward. That is a nice nade. It pushes them out. It makes it uncomfortable. And with the knock to follow, that's from the back lines. That's Refund doing the work for them. Na'Vi might be able to push on this. I don't know if they know that, though. It might be hard to work out if that's what's happened. But with the confirmed kill, they know who's inside. And Drainies wants a bit of this. Is it worth it, though? The blue's on your back, Na'Vi. You know you got to move.
He's bailing from it. If he went in there, he would have found them while they were getting the res off. Now 3 players are back up. Refunding the kill feed. Takes out Mumino. 15 points move their way. There's the knock. There's the kill. Drainies gets tapped up. Colorist from the top corner window. He's got a molly. That could burn. They've got 2 mollies. They're going to dual molly this out. Will they get the burns on them?
Let's see.
These are nasty now.
Oh no, this is going to be so painful. You've got to move. With the blue coming in as well, Drainies cannot stay still. Working their way forward in unison. You're seeing Refund in the back lines trying to make a move. WTSG, but as soon as they come out, it's a bloodbath. Na'Vi dismantle the opponents, and on the run we go.
What a firing squad. 3 of them bail on the building, and all of a sudden they're all dead. Insane work from Na'Vi, but now the real test is in front of them. You've got Liquid, you've got Honey Badger Nation, two teams that are just laying down the hammer here. They do have the angle as well.
Oh, this is a lovely bit of work with that SKS. That's a perfect angle for it, but you've got to be careful. Nice mentality from Pino to not over-peak that angle. You know there's going to be danger.
Hearing some big cheering down there. There's a fair few fans out in the audience. Refund still on the back lines here. Eba, Pokemolodoy, two of them back-to-back from Na'Vi. Fall, Fastrio gets answered on Simpson. Scoom, has he ended the run for Na'Vi? That's Molodai down and finished. They maybe have one more alive, and I think that's going to be Draenis.
Not going to be much, but Genji Gold starting to move into the battle here. You're going to be seeing teams working their way forward. They were on this southeastern side, but they were playing low-key. But now they have to come back into the circle. They've got a long way to go, and a lot of teams standing in their way. That's the issue. Look at the Honey Badger Nation remaining players here, or players, should I say. Timid, living up to the name, playing it out like he has to. Now,
I like it.
Gold.
Leave one.
Yep.
Don't put them all inside the vehicle. So if you do just, think things go wrong, all four won't die at least. 4 players alive at this stage of the game. I'm quite surprised. Liquid is still tanked up. They've got a vehicle in front, vehicle in the back.
Larson, what on earth is going here? You've got a player right in front of you, Larson. I don't think you want any of that, do you? You don't fancy it, but the blue is moving in and the crawl begins. You got Funky M right in front of you. This is going to get scary. Larson's there. Pino's off to his left. How has he done this? Larson.
What can he do? In this scenario, if he shoots one, the other one's just going to knock him out, so he has to hope that this is actually working, Lauren. Other people are dying around him. WCSG is jumping up the rankings.
Oh, this is smart from Larson, but he has to make the shot happen soon. He takes down one, but he has to be ready on more. Pino is off towards his left side. Larson has to work this out soon. Funky M's gone down. That's Genji Gold getting into the fight. This is a huge third-party fight here. Everyone can see everyone. Genji Gold in the fire. You can see him laying down the fire. Larson goes, though. Refund stay alive. They're still fighting.
Liquid now. EB will fall. Scoom's right in front of him. He's trying to hold on. He doesn't really have much cover. There is a Defile that will help him out. Esker, SLR, 8 times on there. Still looking for more. Trying to make sure that they get these points. It's all right getting the knock, but you don't get the 15 till they're dead. Look at Gold. All 4 alive. 2 at the front, 2 on the side. Here comes the split. Loki with a tap down. Doesn't quite get it. But Esker finds Ibi. That's the 15 points going their way finally. I think they're only one with more than 3 alive at the moment.
How are Na'Vi just crawling their way in here? Everyone hits the decks. The new circle is purely towards the western side. Refund will have players in that. It will be Gold who have to come towards them, but they will have the numbers advantage. Let's keep tabs on this exact circle. You have a bit of a snake in the grass, Mr. Yoppie. Genji Gold from afar. Lane is going to be picked up. I-Lane goes down. That's a confirmed kill. Now, we've got a lot of individual players. There's 10 players alive with merely only 5 teams, so you can work that out. We have Refund sitting up with 2 players standing in good positioning as well. They'll have to move forward a bit, but they've got those nice rocks there. They want to go northern. They might have to get past Mr. Yoppie here, and the fire comes through. It's actually Loki to do it for him. That's now 4 teams.
He pre-grenaded! He pre-grenaded with the wrong person! He threw at Mr. Yoppie, and all of a sudden Meow run into it. That was accidental, but it's worked out fine.
It's down to Pino now. He's left into a huge situation in front of him. He's getting tagged up. He goes down. It's Gold! Lighting up the kill feed. Refund falls, and now Genji Gold are on the move, and it is going to be them all day long. They are looking formidable today.
Genji Gold, a second win. This is what we wanted to see from this team. We knew coming into this competition, they were the #1 team from Korea, and they are not failing to disappoint. How do you keep 4 players alive to the final circle? Everyone else falls around them. We have to give a quick shout out as well to Na'Vi to be in second place. That's good for them.
Yeah, it is, but Esker sitting on 8 kills individually as well. Individual animal of a player. That is impressive to watch, and I think we're seeing what we were missing out from this team. We were wanting to see that. We saw, Genji Black turning up and looking good. They were looking decent. They're putting up results. They were keeping everyone on their toes. We were waiting for Gold to do something similar, and I think we're seeing it today.
I still think it's amazing to see how these guys, when they say they're going to do something, they commit to it as a team. They don't just go rushing in for the fun of it. It's like, breach a building, let's go, boys. They'll play a tiny bit passive, and then when it's time to strike, they'll move as a unit. You saw then at the last point, 2 players, they took the vehicles, they moved up forward. They knew that where there's 1 player, it's okay, this is the northern end of the circle, this is the top position what we want. Let's go. Yep. Let's leave 2 behind as a backup if we do die. They eliminate the players in the north, they then give a bit of a doorway, open the floodgates, let your teammates push up, and then you have the position, and then you can just rain down Holy Fine. That's exactly what they did. What a fantastic showing from Genji Gold here.
It seems like today is their day, but there's still one more game to go. There's still a lot to be played for with a team like them winning this game out, and they're already in first place in the positions. You can see that everyone from their side is looking pretty happy with the results, and of course you would be. Liquid were in second prior to this, and Knights in third, but they weren't quite up there. Liquid were fourth, so they'll probably still be sitting okay. They could be the next contender, I guess, but beyond that, a lot of the big teams dropped out early this round.
You have to give it a quick, obviously you've got WTSG making it up there as well. It was a very, very wild game, but a fantastic one. It is Gen.G Gold who are your winners for round number 7. We're going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we have our final round, and we will be crowning a winner. Do not go anywhere.
It could be big. He's got to push out here, and the Luke is way on the other side. McCoy, though, doing it all alone. This is incredible. He finally gets found, but now look, the support is here. Profi, is he ready? He is. Matic got one. This is huge. Now he can make the play off the back of this. He can push this. Oh, that could have been so smart. He doesn't get the kill in the end. But look at the HP. Working the way forward in unison. You're seeing Refund in the back line trying to make a move. WTSG, but as soon as they come out, it's a bloodbath. Na'Vi who's down. It's gold. Lighting up the kill feed. Refund falls, and now Gen.G Gold are on the move, and it is going to be them all day long. They are looking for